The phone buzzed at 2:17 a.m. A mosquito whined in the dark. I'd been drifting in a half-sleep where old memories bleed into dreams, and when I rolled over, the screen lit my bedroom like a flare. From Mara. 3 years since I'd blocked her. 3 years since I'd learned what she and Evan had done behind my back. In hotel rooms within walls and mirrors that made liars of everyone. My chest tightened the way it does right before you realize you've been holding your breath. We need you at R. That was all the preview showed. No punctuation. No mercy. I sat up, sheets tangling around my legs, heart banging as if it wanted out. The house was silent except for the refrigerator's hum and the soft click of the ceiling fan. I hadn't heard her voice since the night. She packed a suitcase and cried into the crook of her elbow like she was the one being abandoned. I hadn't heard Evan since the day I punched him and broke my knuckle on his stupid, loyal face. I unlocked the phone. We need you at our wedding. The words were neat. Careful. She always was careful with words. Until she wasn't. I stared at the message until my eyes burned. Wedding. Our. The syllables felt like gravel between my teeth. I imagined them standing together somewhere bright, practicing vows about fidelity and forever, while my life had learned to move in shorter sentences. I typed wrong number and erased it. Typed don't ever contact me again, and erased that too. My thumb hovered. The past is a liar, but it's a persuasive one. The first time I'd suspected something, it was small. A laugh that carried too long. Evan knowing which team Mara liked without asking. We'd been a trio since college. Shared apartments, shared holidays, shared jokes. Trust had been our furniture. We leaned on it without thinking. When I confronted her back then, she cried. Said I was imagining things. Said I was tired. Stressed. I apologized. Bought flowers. Learned the shape of denial because it fit like a glove. Now, in the dark, denial felt like a luxury I couldn't afford. Why? I typed. My finger trembled before I sent it. The reply came fast, like she'd been waiting. Phone in hand, breath held. Because he's sick. The room tipped. Sick is a word with trapdoors. How sick? I wrote. A pause. The typing bubbles appeared, disappeared. I counted my breaths. The fan clicks. The refrigerator hums. Memory has its own soundtrack. Cancer, she sent. Late stage. He wants you there. I closed my eyes. Evan, who ran marathons for fun. Evan, who borrowed my tools and never returned them. Evan, who held my shoulders when my father died and said nothing because there was nothing to say. Evan, who took my wife into a life I didn't recognize. You wanted to bless it. I typed, anger sharp and bright. You want to pretend this is normal. No, she replied. I want you to know the truth. I laughed. One bark that startled me. The truth had already done its worst. What was left? She called before I could stop her. I watched the screen ring, the name like a bruise you keep pressing. Mara, I said when I answered. My voice sounded older. We didn't mean to hurt you, she said. The old phrase. The universal apology that apologizes for nothing. You did, I said. You meant it enough. There was breathing on the other end, then a hitch. He has months, she said. He wants closure. Closure. Another word with a trapdoor. I won't be a prop, I said. I won't stand there and make your story cleaner. You don't have to stand, she said softly. Just come. Please. I didn't sleep. Dawn came pale and apologetic through the blinds. I showered, put on a shirt that didn't wrinkle, drove with the radio off. The venue was a small chapel on a hill, white clapboard, windows like eyes. I parked far away, as if distance could soften the impact. Inside, the air smelled of lilies and old wood. Evan sat in a chair near the altar, thinner than I remembered, skin waxed by illness. He looked up when he saw me, and his smile was all bones and relief. You came, he said. I didn't say I would, I said. My hand throbbed where the knuckle had healed wrong. I hoped, he said. Hope was a muscle he still exercised. Mara stood behind him, hands folded, dressed simple. She looked like herself, and not at all like the woman I'd loved. Time had its people, sometimes brutally. I owe you everything, Evan said. Even this. I waited for the ask, the performance, the speech about forgiveness. Instead, he swallowed. I lied to you, he said. About when it started. About why. Mara stiffened. He was sick before. Evan went on. The first time. I didn't tell you because I was scared. She knew. She stayed because she was scared too. I told myself it was temporary. It wasn't. The truth arrived late and uninvited, like an apology after the damage is done. I felt anger rearrange itself, make room for something colder. I didn't come to hear confessions, I said. I know, he said. I ask you here because I need you to know this wasn't a victory. It was a failure that lasted. Mara stepped forward. I never stopped loving you, she said, tears bright. I just didn't know how to leave. There was the final cut. Love as a thing you keep while doing harm. I saw, then, the small red flags I'd folded into napkins and set aside. The late nights, the silences, the way guilt can masquerade as kindness. I won't forgive you, I said. The words surprised me with their calm. Not today. Maybe not ever. Evan nodded. Relief, again, as if honesty itself had been the ask. I also won't stand in your wedding, I said, but I will stay. The ceremony was short. I sat in the back pew, a witness without a role. When they said vows, Evan's voice shook and Mara's didn't. I listened to promises I no longer believed in, and felt something like peace anyway, because belief is not required for truth. After, Evan reached for my hand. His grip was weak but sincere. Thank you, he said. For what? I asked. For not letting me pretend, he said. I left before the cake was cut. Outside, the hill sloped down into afternoon light. My phone buzzed once more. A text from Mara, already a ghost. I'm sorry. I didn't reply. Some stories don't need an ending you can type. I walked to my car, the past finally quiet, and drove to a future that would be hard, but honest.